Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today we are back with more the Prose Edda. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into this at part. Is that 30? I think that's 30. 50. Loki is caught, and the Aesir take vengeance. Then Gangleri said Loki was the cause of many things. First, he caused Baldur's death, and then managed to have Baldur retained in hell. He was, but was no vengeance taken for this? I replied, he was repaid in a way that he will long feel, with the gods as angry at him as might be expected. He ran away and hid on a mountain. There he built a house with 4 doors so that he could look out from the house in all directions. During the day, he often changed himself into a salmon and hid in a place called Throning's Falls. He set his mind to discovering what sort of ploy the Acer might devise to catch him in the waterfall. Sitting in the house, he took uh, some linen yarn and looped it into a mesh in a way that nets have been made ever since. A fire was burning in front of him. Suddenly, he saw that the Acer were only a short distance away. Odin, having discovered Loki's whereabouts from Lidasjolf, Loki jumped up and threw the net into the fire, and he dashed out to the river. When the Acer reached the house, the first to enter was Kvasir, the wisest of all. He looked into the fire, and when he saw the outline of the net in the ashes, he realized that it was a device for catching fish. He told the Acer, and they set to work. They made a net for themselves, copying from Loki what they had seen in the ashes. With the net ready, the Acer went to the river and cast it into the waterfall. Thor held one end, and all the Acer held the other, and together they dragged the net. But Loki moved ahead of them, and diving deep, he placed himself between 2 boulders. As the Acer pulled the net over him, they realized that something alive was there. They went back up to the waterfall and cast the net again. This time they weighed it down so heavily that nothing could slip under it. Again, Loki stayed ahead of the net, but when he saw it was only a short distance to the sea, he jumped up over the top of the net and swam back up to the falls. The Acer, now seeing where he was going, returned to the falls. They divided themselves between the 2 banks, while Thor waited in the middle of the river, and then they worked their way down towards the sea. Loki realized that he had 2 options. He could leap out to the sea, which meant putting his life in danger, or he could once again jump over the net. He chose the latter, jumping as fast as he could over the net. Thor reached out and succeeded in grabbing him, but still the salmon slipped through his hands. Thor finally got a firm hold on it near its tail, and for this reason salmon are narrow towards the rear. Loki was now captured, and with no thought of mercy, he was taken to a cave. They, the Aesir, took 3 flat stones and setting them on their edges broke a hole in each of them. Then they caught Loki's sons, Vali and Nari or Narfi. Uh, the Aesir changed Vali into a wolf and he ripped apart his brother Narfi. Next, the Aesir took his guts, and with them they bound Loki on top of the 3 stones, one under his shoulders, a second under his loins, and a third under his knees. The fetters became iron. Then Skadi took a poisonous snake and fastened it above Loki so that the poison drips onto his face. But Sigyn, his wife, placed herself beside him from where she holds a bow to catch the drops of venom. When the bow becomes full, she leaves to pour out the poison, and at that moment the poison drips onto Loki's face. He convulses so violently that the whole earth shakes, and it is what is known as an earthquake. He will lie bound there until Ragnarok. Part 51. The High One reveals the events of Ragnarok. Then Gangleri asked, "What is it to be said about Ragnarok? I have not heard it spoken of before." Hai replied, "There are many important things to be said about it. First will come the winter called Fimbulvetr, or extreme winter. Snow will drive in from all directions, and cold will be severe, and the winds will be fierce. The sun will be of no use. 3 of these winters will come, and one after the other, with no summer in between. But before that, there will have been another 3 winters, with great battles taking place throughout the world. Brothers will kill brothers for the sake of greed, and neither father nor son will be spared in the killings and the collapse of kinship. So it is said in the Sibyl's prophecy. Brothers will fight, bringing death to each other. Sons of sisters will split their kin bonds. Hard times for men, rampant depravity, age of axes, age of swords, worlds or shields split, wind age, wolf age, until the world falls into ruin. Next will come an event thought to be of much importance. The wolf will swallow the sun, and mankind will think it has suffered a terrible disaster. Then the other wolf will catch the moon, and he too will cause much ruin. The stars will disappear from the heavens. So also there is this to be told: the whole earth, together with the mountains, will start to shake so that the trees will loosen from the ground. The mountains will fall, and all fetters and bonds will sever and break. Then the Fenris wolf will break free. The sea will surge onto the land, and the Midgard serpent rise in giant fury and advances up on the land. Then it is also will happen that the ship Naglfar loosens from its moorings. It is made from the nails of dead men, and for this reason it is worth considering the warning that if a person dies with untrimmed nails, he contributes crucial material to Naglfar, a ship that both gods and men would prefer not to see built. On the flooding sea, Naglfar comes floating. The giant steering uh, Nafalgar is named Hrym. Meanwhile, the Fenris wolf advances with its mouth gaping. Its upper jaw reaches into the heavens, and the lower one drops down to the earth. He would open it still wider if only there were room. Flames shoot out of his eyes and nostrils. The Midgard serpent spews out so much venom that it spatters throughout the air and into the sea. He is terrible and will be on one side of the wolf. Amid this din, the sky splits apart, and the ride with the sons of Muspel. Surt comes first, riding the fires burning both before and behind him. His sword is magnificent, and the glare from it is brighter than that from the sun. As they ride across the Bifrost, it will break as it was told earlier. Muspel's sons advance until they reach the plain called Vigrid, or battle plain. The Fenris wolf and the Midgard serpent also go there. Then Loki arrives, and also Hrym. The latter is accompanied by all the frost giants, while all of Hel's own follow Loki. The sons of Muspel have their own battle troop, and it shines brilliantly. The field Vigrid lies 100 leagues in each direction. As these events occur, Heimdall stands up and blows the Gjavir horn with all his strength. He wakens all the gods, who then hold an assembly. Odin now rides to Mimir's well, seeking Mimir's counsel for both himself and his followers. The ash Yggdrasil shakes, and nothing, whether in heaven or on earth, is without fear. The Aesir and all Einherjar dress for war and advance onto the field. Odin rides in front of them. He wears a golden helmet and a magnificent coat of mail, and he carries his spear called Gungnir. He goes against the Fenris wolf, with Thor advancing at his side. Thor will be unable to assist Odin because he will have his hands full fighting the Midgard serpent. Frey will fight against Surt, and it will be a fierce exchange before Frey falls. His death will come about because he lacks the good sword, the one that he gave to Skirnir. By now the hound Garm who was bound in front of the Gnipalier, will also have broken feet free. He, the worst of monsters, will fight against Tyr. They will be each other's death. Thor will kill the Midgard serpent, and then he will step back 9 feet. Because of the poison the serpent spits on him, he will fall to the earth dead. The wolf will swallow Odin, and that will be his death. But immediately afterwards, Vidar will stride forward and thrust one of his feet into the lower jaw of the wolf. He wears on that foot the shoe that has been assembled through the ages by collecting the extra pieces that people cut away from their toes and heels when fashioning their shoes. Thus, those who want to help the Aesir should throw these extra pieces away. With one hand, he takes hold of the wolf's upper jaw and rips apart the mouth, and this will be the wolf's step. Loki will battle with Heimdall, and they will be the death of each other. Next, Surt will throw fire over the earth and burn the whole world. So says the Sibyl's prophecy. Heimdall blows loudly, his horn in the air. Odin speaks to Mimir's head. The ash of Yggdrasil trembles as it stands. The old tree groans, and the giants breaks free. What of the Aesir? What of the elves? All giant land groans, and Aesir meet in assembly. The dwarves moan before their doors of stone. They who know the cliffs, do you know now or what? Hrym drives from the east, holding his shield before him. Jormungand thrashes in giant wrath. The serpent lashes the waves, the eagle screeches. Nidful rips apart corpses. Naglfar breaks loose. A ship sails from the east. Muspel's followers are coming across the sea, and Loki is steering. Where there with the wolf are all the giant sons. With them on the voyage is Balaest's brother Loki. Surt comes from the south with the fiery destruction of branches. The sun shines from the sword of the gods of the slain. Stone cliffs tumble and troll witches stumble. Men tread the road to hell, and the sky splits apart. Then comes to Hlin or Frigg her second sorrow, when Odin goes to fight with the wolf, and Beli's bright bane or Frey advances against Surt. There Frigg's beloved Odin will fall. Odin's son goes to fight with the wolf. Vidar on the way on the carrion beast. He lets his sword hew to the heart of Vedrung's son, the wolf Fenrir. Thus the father is avenged. Steps back the renowned son of earth, or Thor, doomed from the serpent, fearing no shame. All men will abandon their world when Midgard's protector strikes in rage. The sun grows black, the earth sinks into the sea, the bright stars vanish from the heavens. Steam surges up, and the fire rages, heat reaches high against heaven itself. Here it is also said, Vigrid is the plain's name where Surt and the dear gods meet in battle. 100 leagues it extends in each direction. The field is destined for them. But we'll go ahead and end this episode there. We're almost through the first part of the book. 52, 53, 54, 55, and that'll finish part 1, which is technically itself an actual written book. And will take us into the Skaldskaparmal. But yeah. So, we get an idea of Ragnarok itself. What battles we will see, what the consequences shall happen to the Norse gods and the monsters of Norse mythology. But yeah. It's just kind of clearing the picture of how the Aesir and the other beasts in the other realms shall fall. You have Fenrir, the Midgard serpent, Loki, and the frost giants, all against the Aesir. But yeah. Anyway, as always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to tell you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll see you all in the next episode. Until then, later.